of my office, now!
Marcus Webb slammed his fist on the mahogany desk as another text message lit up his phone. I quit. I can't handle your boys anymore. Good luck. That made 7 nannies in 4 months. Downstairs, he could hear the crash of something expensive shattering, followed by his twin sons screaming at each other. Carter and Cole were destroying everything he'd built, and he had no idea how to stop them. If you want to see how a simple janitor changed everything for this broken family, make sure to comment below what you think happens next, smash that like button, subscribe to Broken Empire, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this story. Trust me, you won't see this twist coming. It was 2 in the morning when Daniel Torres pushed his cleaning cart past the executive offices at Sterling Tech Industries. His shoulders ached from the double shift he'd pulled at the warehouse earlier that day, but he needed the money. Sophia's school fees were due, and his daughter deserved better than the crumbling apartment they called home. 3 years since cancer took his wife, and he was still fighting to keep his head above water. But he never let Sophia see him break. Never. The sound of crying stopped him cold outside the glass conference room. 2 small figures huddled beneath the massive table, and a well-dressed woman paced nearby, her phone pressed to her ear. Security? Yes, I need someone to deal with the Webb children. I'm done. I don't care what Mr. Webb pays. I'm not equipped for this. Daniel hesitated. This wasn't his business. He was the night janitor. Invisible. Irrelevant. But those sobs cut through something in his chest, and before he could think better of it, he was pushing open the door. Excuse me, ma'am. Maybe I could try? The woman's eyes widened. You're the cleaning staff. What could you possibly do that I haven't tried? Sometimes kids just need someone who isn't trying so hard, Daniel said quietly. The woman stared at him for a moment, then threw up her hands. Fini. They're your problem now. She stormed out, heels clicking down the marble hallway. Daniel knelt slowly, keeping his distance from the table. He could see 2 pairs of eyes watching him from the shadows. You know, he said, his voice soft. When my daughter Sophia was scared, she used to hide under our kitchen table. Said it felt like a fort, like the world couldn't get in. Silence. Then a small voice. Our mom used to let us build forts. Yeah? What did you use? Blankets? Chairs? Everything. Another voice chimed in. Dad said we made too much mess. Daniel sat cross-legged on the floor. My wife used to say messes mean someone's living in the house. Empty houses are always too clean. He pulled out his phone, showing them a picture of Sophia grinning with paint splattered across her face. This was last week. We tried to fix a leaky ceiling ourselves. Made it worse. We laughed so hard we cried. Slowly, 2 boys emerged. Carter and Cole, 8 years old, with their mother's eyes and their father's stubborn chin. Does your daughter's mom laugh with you? Carter asked. She's gone, Daniel said simply. Like your mom. But Sophia and we remember her by doing the things she loved. Makes her feel closer. Cole's lip trembled. Dad doesn't talk about mom. He just works. Maybe he doesn't know how to stop hurting, Daniel said. Sometimes grown-ups are just as lost as kids. Marcus watched the security footage 3 times before he believed it. His sons, the terrors who'd driven away every caretaker he'd hired, sat peacefully with a night janitor, actually smiling, actually talking. When was the last time he'd seen them smile? Weeks passed, and Marcus noticed the changes. The boys waited for Daniel's shift, helping him organize supply closets, learning the names of every person who worked the night crew. They started sleeping through the night, started eating breakfast, started being boys again instead of hurricanes of rage and pain. Marcus found Daniel in the supply room one Thursday evening. Mr. Torres, I need to understand what you're doing with my sons. Daniel looked up from his inventory list, surprised. I'm not doing anything special, Mr. Webb. Just listening to them. I've hired child psychologists, behavioral specialists, people with degrees and credentials. None of them reached my boys like you have. Maybe that's the problem, Daniel said carefully. They don't need fixing. They need to know someone cares enough to stay when things get hard. That someone won't leave just because they're messy or angry or scared. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. I haven't left. I'm right here. Are you? Daniel's voice was gentle but firm. Because grief is loud, Mr. Webb. And I think yours has been shouting so loud you can't hear your sons anymore. Marcus felt something crack in his chest. How do you do it? You lost your wife too. How do you keep going? I let myself feel it, Daniel said. Every day, Sophia and we talk about her mom. We cry. We laugh. We let it hurt because that's how you heal. You've been running, Mr. Webb, and your boys have been chasing you, trying to make enough noise that you'd finally turn around and see them. 2 weeks later, Marcus got the call that Daniel was in the hospital. Pneumonia, complications from exhaustion, and an untreated respiratory infection. When Marcus arrived with Carter and Cole, his sons were terrified. We can't lose him too, Carter whispered. Please, Dad. We can't. Marcus watched his children's faces and saw his own fear reflected back at him. The fear that had made him bury himself in work. The fear that had turned him into a ghost in his own home. And he realized that Daniel had given his sons something he'd forgotten how to give. The courage to stay present even when it hurt. Daniel woke to find Marcus sitting beside his hospital bed, the twins asleep in chairs nearby. Mr. Webb, what are you doing here? Wondering if you'd consider a job, Marcus said. Director of Community Relations. We're starting after-school programs for employees' children. Someone who understands that kids need more than supervision. They need connection. He paused. The salary is 6 times what you make now. Full benefits. Sophia's education is covered. Daniel started to protest, but Marcus held up his hand. This isn't charity. This is me recognizing that you have something my company needs. Something I need. His voice cracked. And I was hoping maybe our kids could spend time together. Not as an employee and boss. As 2 fathers who are trying to figure out how to keep going. 6 months later, Marcus stood at the edge of Sterling Tech's community center, watching Daniel teach a group of children how to plant seeds in small pots. Carter and Cole worked alongside Sophia, patient and gentle with the younger kids. Marcus had left work at 5. He'd made dinner. He'd asked his sons about their days and actually listened to the answers. Daniel walked over, dirt on his hands, a smile on his face. You did the hard part, you know. You let yourself be their father again. You showed me how, Marcus said. Coffee this weekend? Our kids want to plan a camping trip. Your wife loved camping, didn't she? She did. And I think it's time we started remembering her out loud. Marcus looked at his sons, really looked at them, and felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years. Hope. Thank you for not giving up on us. Families don't give up on each other, Daniel said. That's what makes them families. So here's my question for you. What's the most important lesson you think Marcus learned in this story? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe to Broken Empire for more stories that matter, and share this with someone who needs to remember that healing is always possible. Sometimes the people who save us are the ones we never expected. Until next time, remember that the most powerful transformations happen when we finally let ourselves be seen.